7629. Now, for more on all of this, we're pleased to be joined via Skype from the Bayou State of Louisiana by the co-chair of the Louisiana Trump campaign, Jeff Crouere. Jeff is also the author of the book, America's Last Chance. And Skyping in from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, noted political commentator and the son of President Ronald Reagan, our friend Michael Reagan. As always, you can find and follow Michael on Twitter at his handle, @ReaganWorld. So, Michael, we just heard Miranda conversing with pollster John Zogby, and basically the takeaway is that the third-party candidates hurt Hillary and erode her support more than Donald Trump's. Do you think there will be enough erosion to make a difference?
Well, I'm sure the Trump campaign would love for there to be enough erosion to make a difference as they move forward to the November election. It's always nice to see the third party take Democrat votes instead of taking Republican votes, as what happened back in the 1990s. But there's a lot of time left to get to November 8th and the election, and there'll be a lot more polls out there, a lot more, boxing matches going on between the candidates. So there's a lot to be told yet.
Yeah, it's very much in flux. A lady who was primarily a pollster, now the new campaign manager for Donald Trump, Kellyanne Conway, showed up on CNN earlier today, Jeff. I want you to listen to her. She's a smart lady, but listen to this spin. She says being behind at this point is actually a good thing. Here are her comments.
I think it helps us to be a little bit behind, and we are. It lights a fire under us, and it reminds us what we need to do to get this done. We like our odds in this sense. Yeah. We're the ones going out and giving these policy speeches. We're the ones talking to the press and not ignoring them. We're the ones who have the issue set in our favor, because at the end of the day, this is 2000, this is 2008 all over again. It's a change election.
So there she is, laying out some valuable points, but I don't know anybody really who wants to be behind at any time in polling, Jeff.
Well, JD, a guy that I admire very much, Ronald Reagan, was behind Jimmy Carter in 1980, and he won a landslide. So I'll take that in this election if Donald Trump can win 44 states like my hero and Michael Reagan's father, Ronald Reagan. But I think Kellyanne is a great addition to the team. She is outstanding. And boy, I feel so much better for the Trump campaign to have her as the new campaign manager. I like what I see in Donald Trump the last few days, JD. He's speaking from a teleprompter. The issues are in his favor. He's hitting these themes that he needs to hit. He's staying away from the distractions. And I think he's on a roll. I think he's gained some ground in the past few days.
Tell you what, before we go any further, let's take a call at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. From the crucial state, the swing state of Pennsylvania, John is on the phone. John, welcome to Newsmax Prime.
Hi, JD. I'd like to say, I was watching the news last night. I was changing the channels. And first of all, I want to say that Newsmax is the best news program that I've seen in a long, long time. And how I was changing the channels last night, and I happened to come across CNN's news last night, and I couldn't believe how the lies that they were showing, and I got me so sick about that.
You mentioned that, John, and back in the old days about CNN, we used to talk 20 years ago about it being the Clinton News Network. Perhaps it's returned to that. We appreciate you checking in tonight from the Keystone State. Speaking of television, Michael Reagan, Donald Trump has made his first general election ad buy that begins tomorrow. Very small in scope, certainly compared to what Hillary Clinton has done thus far. Donald Trump, he's spending $4 million, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Only $4 million compared to Hillary's $61 million. Kind of getting into this slow, but I guess he's getting bang for the buck, wouldn't you say?
Well, you're going to find out. He needs those states in order to get enough electoral votes to win the election, in November. But you're right about Hillary spending the money. The one thing that Donald Trump forgot about on the way to the dance was getting ready after he won to go after the election in November. So he doesn't have the ground game out there that Hillary has out there. He's got a lot of work to do in raising dollars, putting out ads, and also having people on the ground to get that vote out in November. You can't plan on the free media that you might have gotten during the primaries to be there for you in the same way in the general election. And hopefully Kellyanne turns it around for him. If she can't, then he's going to be spending a lot more time at the Trump Towers after November.
Yeah, but right now, just getting up on television, usually what we say, Jeff, the big day is Labor Day. That becomes really when things start in earnest. So we've got some time. Never want to take things for granted. There is some news out there we need to talk about, and it happened this afternoon. The State Department trying to defend that $400 million ransom payment earlier today by saying they wanted to maintain maximum leverage to ensure they got those prisoners back. Let's just watch again the way it went down at the State Department briefing.
With concerns that Iran may renege on the prisoner release, given unnecessary delays regarding persons in Iran who could not be located, as well as, to be quite honest, mutual mistrust between Iran and the United States, we of course sought to retain maximum leverage until after American citizens were released. That was our top priority.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to tell you, Jeff, sounds like a ransom payment to me. How about you?
Exactly. It was a ransom payment, JD, and it was a lie by President Obama. So we did pay ransom for these hostages. And by the way, what we encouraged, JD, was more hostage taking because they've taken more innocent people. And guess what? That $400 million was just the first of an installment of $1.7 billion. And guess what? They're going to use that money for terrorism. This is not a regime that we can trust. We shouldn't have given them $1. They took our hostages. They committed crimes against humanity. We should have never given them back 1 cent, JD.
Final 30 seconds in this segment to you, Michael Reagan. Your take on all this.
Well, my take on all this is that they keep on giving basically the Trump campaign layups, and it's up to him to start hitting them out of the park. It's not always talk about Donald Trump, but talk about those types of issues, because those are winning issues for his campaign. And hopefully Kellyanne and others around him now will keep him on track, keep him focused where he needs to be focused to ultimately pull ahead and win this election in November. It's really in his court to do.
Yes, indeed, and we thank you for that. Gentlemen, we ask you to stand by because you're coming back following the break. We talked a lot about Kellyanne Fitzpatrick, but there's someone else who's literally the CEO of the Trump campaign, Stephen Bannon. More on him with our friend John Gizzi when we return, plus more of your phone calls tonight on Newsmax Prime.